Tonight, a sign of what's to come. Minnesota schools have the go-ahead from the governor to choose one of 3 reopening plans. We're getting local reaction.
Plus, a close call. During a traffic stop, a Duluth police officer was sideswiped by an SUV. We'll show you how it happened.
And ballot delivery has been a problem in Wisconsin. What election officials and the Postal Service are doing to ensure everyone gets to vote.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. We're learning much more tonight about the return to school plan unveiled by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and health officials today. It will be up to school districts to come up with a plan in conjunction with health experts.
Governor Walz made that announcement this afternoon. He says the Safe Learning Plan is a localized, data-driven approach. It calls for districts to use case numbers in their community to decide whether to have all students in school, distance learning, or a combination of the two. Schools might switch between the 3 as case numbers change. If a parent does not want their child in school for whatever reason, they'll be provided distance learning opportunities. Walz says he knows this is a challenging time for parents, students, and teachers. And with that news today, heading back to school will no doubt look very different across Minnesota.
After digging into the data, we are learning some students in Northland schools could be back in the classroom. CBS 3's Emma Quinn reports.
The first day of school will be one for the history books this year. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz shared plans Thursday on what the school year will look like. Superintendents listened closely.
It's all based on the number of positive, a 14-day average of positive cases in the county that your district resides in.
Based on the most recent data for the Hibbing and Duluth public school districts, students could be heading back into the classroom.
And we have to consider what that means from a safety perspective.
Duluth Schools Superintendent John Magus says, however, they're not ready to make that decision.
We need to take a look at the new criteria and really have that conversation with some of the stakeholders.
On the Iron Range, Hibbing Superintendent Richard Aldrich says if data stays the same, students there will likely be in school on the first day.
That's exciting for kids and parents and everybody. But what comes along with that is that huge responsibility that we have to come back and keep students and staff safe.
While safety precautions are being put in place in both districts, including cleaning protocol, both superintendents know plans could change quickly.
But we have to be ready in case something occurs with an outbreak at a particular school or an exposure in a particular area, or if our cases go up dramatically.
Governor Walz is making it an option statewide. If students or teachers are at a higher risk of infection, they can work or learn remotely. Both superintendents we spoke with say they fully support that choice.
As for Superior Schools, the district is still considering a hybrid learning approach for the fall. Last week, the Superior School Board laid out their plans, proposing that students learn both online and in the classroom. According to their last meeting, the final decision will happen as we move closer to the school year. We did reach out to the district today for an update, but did not hear back by news time. New tonight at 10, Northland colleges and universities are also getting their plans in place for the fall semester.
Lake Superior College says 60% of their classes will be a hybrid version, combining in-person and online. They say that allows faculty and students flexibility to decide what works best for each course and to move fully online if needed.
Meanwhile, the College of St. Scholastica says it's still finalizing its plans, but all faculty are being asked to create hybrid teaching plans for their classes. That gives students options if they're concerned about attending in person. Scholastica is also allowing students to live in on-campus housing in the fall following MDH guidelines. And at UW Superior, 46% of the classes will be online, with the remaining 54% happening on campus. They also have safety protocols in place. UWS says they're also allowing students to live in on-campus housing. UMD is still finalizing their plans for the semester as well, and they don't expect to have numbers until at least next week. All right, and Dave's here for our first look at the weather tonight. Dave, a beautiful night out there.
Yeah, and a very calm night as well, and not much to talk about in the way of winds, and so some little ducklings learning how to swim up on Fraser Bay and Lake Vermilion. Had an easy go of it here tonight. Indeed, Peter Mikowski sent us this picture of little ducklings following their mother around, and my family's got a place in that zone as well. And over the last few years, there haven't been that many ducklings, but now this year they've really exploded like so many other critters. Some folks wonder if it's the weather, others wonder if it's folks that, you know, with social distancing and staying sheltering at home. We're leaving nature alone and letting it thrive. However it's going, it's working. And with fair weather in place here, like I mentioned, those ducks had easy going here today. Likely we'll have it again tomorrow. It's Saturday when we get a chance for rain coming back into our picture. The day planner for Friday then says plan on enjoying it if you like the sunshine, because it may go away briefly on Saturday. Mostly sunny for Friday. High temp warming up a little bit back into the lower 80s for a lot of towns. Will it stay that way through the weekend? I'll let you know coming up after our break.
All right, thanks, Dave. Masks will be required in all indoor public places in Wisconsin starting on Saturday. Governor Tony Evers made the announcement today. Anyone 5 and older will be required to wear masks while indoors or in an enclosed space with anyone outside your family. Masks are also recommended if you're outdoors and social distancing isn't an option. The Democrat applauded cities and counties that already passed this requirement on their own, but added the virus does not stop at those borders. So the governor believes a statewide mask mandate will help Wisconsin beat COVID-19 sooner. He also said it will help deal with the recent increase in community transmission.
The science and public health experts are telling us that face coverings and masks can save lives. My mask protects you, your mask protects me. And our masks work best when we both wear them together.
Some exceptions to the order include when you are eating, drinking, or swimming. Individuals with health conditions or disabilities are also exempt. Meanwhile, the Washburn County Sheriff says he won't uphold Evers' mask mandate, calling it unconstitutional and government overreach. Sheriff Dennis Stewart posted on the department's Facebook page. He says the mask mandate has not passed through the state legislature, so the department won't enforce it. He says the deputies have sworn an oath to the Constitution, and because he feels the mask mandate conflicts with that, they'll uphold the rights of individual people instead. The post was met with a lot of reaction on Facebook, pretty split between good and bad.
New at 10, mere inches could have been the difference between injury and tragedy during a traffic stop in Duluth Wednesday, and it was all caught on camera. Take a look. Here it is again in slow motion. While getting out of his squad car on East 4th Street, Duluth police officer Nick Hudson is sideswiped by that red SUV. Another squad nearby stopped the driver moments after. As it turns out, the driver was allegedly under the influence and arrested for criminal vehicular operation, DWI, and possession of a controlled substance. Police say Hudson was not seriously hurt.
Bail has been set at $1 million for a Chisholm man charged in connection to a murder that happened more than 30 years ago. Michael Carbo Jr. was charged with second-degree murder in St. Louis County Court this morning. The 52-year-old is accused of killing Nancy Doherty, who was found dead inside her Chisholm home in July of 1986. Police say she had been beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled. State investigators obtained a DNA profile from bodily fluids found at the scene, but it didn't match anyone in the criminal database. Earlier this year, new technology finally solved this 3-decade-old cold case. It's called snapshot genetic genealogy analysis, and it was the first time it's been used to arrest someone in Minnesota. Today's criminal complaint did not shed light on a possible motive. We did learn Carbo lived within a mile of Doherty at the time of the murder and went to school with her children. He'll be back in court next week.
On the Iron Range, the Minnesota Nurses Association has informed Essentia Health Virginia of its intent to conduct an informational picket. According to a hospital press release today, the picket will occur just outside the facility on Monday. The Hospital and Nurses Association are negotiating a labor agreement after their previous contract expired last August. 7 negotiating sessions have taken place since December and another one today. The MNA says it's important to note this event is not a strike. Essentia representatives say they will still be open and ready for incoming patients.
After Wisconsin voters complain they never received their absentee ballots, state election officials and the Postal Service are working to streamline delivery. The complaints stem from the recent spring election. Wisconsin Elections Commission staff say they've now added barcodes to ballot envelopes. They can be scanned at postal centers, verifying they were mailed. Staff also upgraded the state's election database to record online ballot applications. That means clerks no longer have to enter them manually.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, a push for private schooling as public schools figure out how students will learn this fall. Private schools are seeing a rise in enrollment applications.
Record high temp for this date is 94 degrees from 1885. Boy, we had a couple of rivals to that over the past month, but now I think cooler weather is coming. Maybe not Friday, but definitely by Sunday. We'll talk temperature trends and precip chances coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS3.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Find the home of your dreams with Homes by Edmonds. Whether you're buying or selling, trust Duluth's oldest real estate company, Homes by Edmonds, LLP. Sunday mornings at 10:30 on CBS3.
Gets easier.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
This thing is really dusty.
Helping to make memories for generations. Numi Jewelers.
I'm Eric Simonson, and I approve this message. As a husband and a father, as a neighbor and a firefighter, and as your proud state senator, I'm asking for your support in the DFL primary election in August. The pandemic and recent tragic events have been challenging all of us. In the Senate, I'm working to make sure this recovery prioritizes the health, safety, and economic security of working families. I'm fighting for justice and equality for our communities of color, and I'm working to make sure quality health care and housing is affordable for everyone.
When news breaks, be the first to know with CBS3. Alerting you with our mobile app, taking you live to the scene.
A lot of protesters walking.
Bringing you complete coverage on air. Showing you what's happening now, what's next, how it affects you.
There's a massive fire. We have a crew there live
Focused
now.
on urgency. Focused on accuracy. When news breaks in your neighborhood, be the first to know. With live, local CBS3. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Lulich Implement. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
You know, sometimes I think I took the job years ago of teaching LSE's aviation meteorology class just so I could pilfer aviation photographs from my former students. Here's one of them, Kurt Belmont from, well, many years ago, up earlier this evening, taking this beautiful picture of the Fond du Lac neighborhood and the St. Louis River, and of course Lake Superior in the distance. Great night for visual flight rules flying. You don't have to know your instruments in conditions like this. Well, technically speaking, I'm not a pilot myself. Flown a couple of times, survived, but not a pilot like Kurt. Bottom line is, whether you were up aloft or down on the ground, it was a great day. Tomorrow likely will be one as well. It's Saturday when instrument flight rules may come into play as the low pressure system brings in clouds and our next rain chance, which could come up towards a 60% shot. Now, let's take a look at what's going on current condition-wise at the airport here in Duluth. 66 degrees there, 70% for the relative humidity and calm wind. 30.07 inches of mercury is the air pressure, which is definitely high. And for the last several days, we've had a pair of high pressure systems dominating our sky. And it will do so one more time tomorrow before indeed lower pressure brings in clouds and the rain chance Saturday. But maybe only for Saturday. By Sunday, it may clear up and cool down. once again. Current temperatures slowly cooling now that sunset has happened, and we're into the mid to upper 50s in the Upper Peninsula, and we're dipping into the upper 50s here throughout northwestern Wisconsin. A couple of examples: 57 Ironwood, 57 Ashland, 58 in Superior. Still lower 60s towards east central Minnesota, Moose Lake at 61, 57 Silver Bay, low 60s on the Vermilion Range, but upper 50s towards the heart of the Mesabi. 62 is what we have in Grand Rapids, 58 International Falls, 58 and lower should be the range of lower temperatures. By tomorrow morning, I'm thinking about 50 to 58 degrees will be where we bottom out as the sun starts to rise once again. Doppler map right now shows the high pressure keeping the sky clear all around the region here, and like I mentioned, should do so for one more day. High pressure, the second of the two, keeping us sunny for Friday. Saturday's the day of change when this low pressure system brings that 60% chance for showers and thunderstorms, probably non-severe thunderstorms. And when this departs by Sunday morning, maybe a quarter-inch worth of rain accumulations. And behind it, Canadian high pressure, like I mentioned, clears us up, but cools us down. The big warm spell of July is gone, no more near 90. Now we'll be closer towards only 70 for at least a couple of days. We'll show you those days with the 7-day. Tonight in Minnesota, your low temps get into the 50s with a partly cloudy sky. Wisconsin and Michigan gets that partly cloudy sky as well with lows 54 to 57. For Friday in Wisconsin and the UP, it'll be mostly sunny and 79 to 83. So slightly warmer for Friday before the cool down comes on Sunday. Minnesota highs 70s by the lake, 80s inland, mostly sunny sky. Extended forecast shows that 60% shower and storm chance on Saturday. Goes away pretty quickly. Sunday through next Wednesday will be sunnier like I mentioned. And when I say cooler, I mean lower 70s. Mid to upper 70s is the normal for this time of year, Anthony and Kristen. We're going to be undercutting that perhaps all the way through next Thursday.
Thanks, Dave. A quick heads up, group campsites within the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest will stay closed for the rest of the season. The Forest Service made that announcement today. While most of the forest campgrounds and recreation sites are still open, they say reservations for group sites will be canceled and refunded. Some private schools in our area are having a tough time keeping up with applications.
Administrators there say parents they've spoken with seem to be turning more and more to independent schooling to make sure their child is on campus come this fall. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez explains why.
What usually is a time of rest has been everything but for employees of Duluth Marshall, an independent school, this summer.
My team of about 10 administrators have been here almost every day. All summer.
Aside from planning for the 2020-2021 school year, Marshall is seeing an uptick in enrollment.
We're seeing, several applicants a day.
Head of school Kevin Breen says with an influx of applications, the school is going to have to place a cap.
Our whole safety plan is predicated on knowing head count, knowing where the students are going to be throughout the building, knowing how they're going to travel from point A to point B.
Breen says he doesn't know if the uptick in inquiries is because of the pandemic, but he thinks it definitely made people more aware of other educational opportunities.
We believe that what we've been doing here at Marshall is a different learning opportunity, and it's not for everybody.
Duluth Marshall isn't the only one seeing the increase. Duluth's Stella Maris Academy is also seeing a number of inquiries. Principal Julianne Blasvik says parents she's talked to want face-to-face learning.
I think there is a higher percentage that want their kids back on a physical site.
Private schools also have smaller class sizes. Blasvik says that also could be a factor, especially right now.
They want to make sure that their child is in a smaller environment.
As of now, both schools are looking to provide on-site learning and remote choice for families, but everything is fluid.
We have to be flexible, and families need to be flexible as well, because if we have...
If you'd like to learn more about the two schools' plans for reopening, you can head on over to our website, cbs3duluth.com.
Still to come, remembering John Lewis, the congressman who played a key role in the civil rights movement, was laid to rest today. More on that after the break.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. The TED event is happening now, where you're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer. Finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit. And if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get great deals across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise. For a limited time, get $6,000 total cash on an F-150. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer today.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health cardiologist Jason Schultz explains transcatheter aortic valve replacement, which fixes the aortic valve without the need for open heart surgery.
So the traditional way of fixing heart valves is the surgeons go in and take the old valves out and put new ones in. TAVR stands for transcatheter aortic valve replacement, so essentially just using catheters and oftentimes balloons to replace the aortic valve without the need to open up the chest. We talk a lot about TAVR because it's probably the most common thing that people perform, but we really see ourselves here at Essentia as a comprehensive valve program. If your valve is leaky, if your valve is sticky, if you have holes where they shouldn't be, there is a 99.9% chance that we can treat that here at Essentia for you. We started doing this in 2013, back when TAVR was a relatively new thing, and we performed almost 450 of these procedures now and have really been delighted at how the program's grown. There's a lot of things that we've seen that we know exactly how to react to now.
Most patients who need their aortic valve replaced are candidates for TAVR, which is a less taxing alternative to open heart surgery.
In traditional surgery, someone's going to be in the hospital for 5 to 7 days and may find that it's difficult to recover for a couple of months. And with transcatheter approaches and TAVR, it's usually 1 day in the hospital, and within a week, you're kind of back up on your feet. I think that the TAVR program has really served as a springboard for really a comprehensive valve center and structural heart disease program. At Essentia, we've taken a lot of pride in not only performing a lot of these, but doing it with exceptionally high quality.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
Get your new John Deere mower from Duluth Lawn and Sport, the region's largest power sports dealer.
Coming up Friday on CBS3 this morning, we'll have a recap on the governor's announcement regarding the fate of schools this fall. And sunshine and temperatures back into those 80s for your Friday. Rain does move in on Saturday. So wake up with us starting at 5 a.m.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Nearly 2 weeks after his death, John Lewis was finally laid to rest today.
Lewis served the Atlantic community for 3 decades in Congress, and today his memorial was a reflection of his life of service. In Congress for more than 30 years, he was often called one of the most courageous persons the civil rights movement ever produced, dedicating his life to the cause. He was first elected in 1986 and served 17 consecutive terms. At his funeral today, 3 former presidents spoke: Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George Bush. The service was held at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church, the place where he worshiped with his mentor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and his daughter.
Meanwhile, Herman Cain, the one-time presidential hopeful and former pizza company CEO, died today after battling coronavirus. Cain was the co-chair of Black Voices for Trump. He was also the CEO of Godfather's Pizza and chaired the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. When he entered politics, he became the GOP presidential frontrunner in 2012 before sexual harassment allegations ended his campaign. An aide to Cain said today it's unclear where he contracted the virus. President Trump called him an American patriot and great friend. He was 74.
Coming up next in sports, the Twins welcoming in the Cleveland Indians. Kelly's in with highlights. Highlights up next.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
What's behind the curtain? Window treatments from concept to creation to installation. Bellinger Drapery Shades and Blinds. Shades above the rest.
Mediacom's fiber-powered broadband network was built for the future, and it's in your community. Delivering gigabit speeds to every home and business we serve. We'll be one of the first in the nation to take you to 10G, making your community one of the fastest in the world. The foundation is in place, and MediaCom will be making way for brilliant possibilities, igniting economic development and lighting up communities nationwide.
Bonjour and Dinaway Maganadub. Hello, all my relatives. I'm Dr. Arnie Vainio, and I live in Duluth, and I love Duluth and the surrounding communities. Keeping COVID-19 from spreading is going to depend on all of us. Washing our hands frequently, keeping social distance, staying home if you can, and wearing a face mask is important. We need to keep our elders and those most vulnerable safe. This is about respect. This is about love.
A major ruling by the state's high court will tell you why some
they had sales. They also say that people are ready to get out and shop.
Hope for an old mining project.
With the legislative session ending last
The Miller Hill Mall in Duluth is open once again.
They gave us 3 hours to shut down, and they gave us 10 seconds to open.
Local reaction after 650 people were laid off.
Lawmakers in Minnesota can't
To stay up to date with the news and weather that impacts you and your community, continue watching live local CBS 3.
Vehicle accidents are stressful enough. You don't need someone showing up at the scene trying to pressure you into letting them tow away your vehicle, often falsely claiming they were dispatched by the police or an insurance company. Be wary of any unsolicited tow truck that arrives on the scene of an accident. In fact, in some places, it's illegal. Motorists should not feel pressured to agree to a tow. Call your roadside assistance provider or insurance company for towing company suggestions, or consult with police on the scene. Always get the price and terms in writing along with the location of the tow yard before letting a tow truck driver hook up your vehicle and take it away. If you suspect fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB, or visit our website, www.nicb.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Synergy. To us, it's the definition of what's behind the curtain. Discover what we can create together. Bellinger Draperies, Shades, and Blinds. Shades above the rest.
The Twins certainly off to a hot start to this unprecedented MLB season. Last night, they capped off the sweep at home against the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight, welcoming in the Cleveland Indians for the first of a 4-game series, first of 10 games this season with the Tribe. Top of the third, Francisco Lindor takes Jose Barrios deep to right field. No, those are not real fans in the stands. Those are CGI fans. It's 2-0 Cleveland, and that is creepy. I'm just going to go on the record and say that now. Barrios had 6 strikeouts, allowing 3 hits, but that's the score that the Twins get beat by. Now, ESPN's Jeff Passan is reporting that both Major League Baseball and the Players Association have agreed on the 7-inning doubleheaders for this 2020 season as opposed to 9-inning. Playing shorter doubleheaders might be a way to keep both pitchers and position players healthy. The Miami Marlins COVID-19 outbreak has already put the team's season on pause along with the Philadelphia Phillies schedule. Coronavirus precautions being put in place in an already shortened 60-game season has already stacked up a list of double headers. Very necessary at this point. The WNBA bubble treks on tonight down in Bradenton, Florida. Lynx taking on the Chicago Sky. 4 minutes left in the half. Lynx looking to pull away. And a good way to do that is give the ball to Nafisa Collier. The reigning Rookie of the Year was dealing tonight. 20 points for her. Demarius Dantas adds 14 of her own. Lynx hand the Sky just their first loss of the season, 83-81, the final. Well, 2 days ago, the Minnesota Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, otherwise known as the MIAC, announced they'd be pushing all their high-risk contact sports into the spring season, leaving many to believe that the UMAC, the conference that both the College of St. Scholastica and the University of Wisconsin-Superior belong to for many of their sports, would be following a similar path. Well, today the UMAC made that official announcement. High-risk sports, as determined by the NCAA Sports Science Institute of football, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball, will not hold conference competitions or championships this fall. Sports that will conduct as planned that are considered low to medium risk sports are men's and women's golf and cross country. To reiterate, the conference will not hold conference competitions or championships of those sports that are considered high risk to student athletes and staff. That would be football, volleyball, and soccer. Men's and women's golf has been deemed low risk and will play as scheduled. Men's and women's cross country, considered medium risk, will go on as well. The conference is exploring the possibility of conducting competitions and championships in the spring. The College of St. Scholastica noted that they will be exploring other options for their student athletes to compete in some way, shape, or form this fall. St. Scholastica Athletic Director Frank Obari published a statement in response to the announcement today, saying that the news brings much sorrow and disappointment and that they will continue to provide their student athletes with some opportunities to train and compete this fall. Meanwhile, UW's Superior Athletic Director Nick Bursick sits in on the UMAC Council of Presidents meetings as the Board of Athletic Director Chair and says that while other options were discussed, they felt that this was the most realistic.
Today was definitely tough, having to really tell our student athletes that they weren't going to get the experience that they had been working for a lot of months in preparation of, and just having to tell them it's going to look different was tough. And when we were able to eventually sit down and look at the data, look at our guidelines, and find ourselves in a spot where we have to prioritize their health and safety, and it led us to the tough decision of looking at this fall. And
that's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
The top, the bargain shop.
When you want new furniture with styles that are nice, and we've made very special buys that are always the right price.
Now in all home furniture stores.
Got a big stop at the bargain shop.
It's the Jeep Summer Clearance Event at Duluth Dodge. Lease a new Cherokee Trailhawk for only $255 a month. Wow, $255 a month? Only at the new Duluth Dodge, 4755 Duluth Trunk Highway, or DuluthDodgeMinnesota.com.
Helping to make memories for generations. Numi Jewelers.
Duluth's downtown waterfront district is the heart of our community. So many of the things we love about Duluth can be found right here, from businesses to attractions. And now, most of them are open and working hard so you can safely enjoy them. Our local restaurants, breweries, shops, salons, and attractions help weave the unique fabric of our community. They make us stand out. And when you support them, your dollars stay in our community, helping to boost our economy. Show your love for Duluth's local businesses. We can't wait to see you.
Things are slowly starting to get back to normal. But our fight against COVID-19 isn't over yet. St. Luke's and Essentia Health are asking for your help. Whenever you will be around others who do not live with you, please wear a mask. This will help to protect everyone in our community. Masking continues to be one of the best defenses against the virus. Masks make a difference. On behalf of Essentia Health and St. Luke's, thank you.
When news breaks, be the first to know with CBS3. Alerting you with our mobile app, taking you live to the scene.
A lot of protesters walking.
Bringing you complete coverage on air. Showing you what's happening now, what's next, how it affects you.
There's a massive fire. We have a crew there live
Focused
now.
on urgency. Focused on accuracy. When news breaks in your neighborhood, be the first to know. With live, local CBS3.
When you want a great deal on mattresses,
Got a big stop at the bargain shop.
how about a twin mattress for $58 or a queen mattress for just $149?
Gotta make a stop at the bargain shop.
In all home furniture stores.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men. Mainstream is your wedding headquarters. Downtown Duluth.
A young lady in Pennsylvania who has never won a golf championship and has never had a hole-in-one could be the most famous golfer in the country right now.
Yeah, and it's for a great reason. This is Kendall Kemp, who you see here swinging a club for the first time in 6 years. The 16-year-old lost use of her left hand after she had a stroke in 2014. On Sunday, she went to a driving range to whack around some balls around for the first time since then. This video taken by her mom quickly went viral, even reaching ESPN. Kim's mother says all the attention has piqued her daughter's interest in learning more about the game. Golf is hard enough with two hands.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
impressive.
a nice swing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, might be a good weekend for some golf, huh?
Although some storms could swing in on Saturday. Sunday may be a better day for golfing. Let's get a look at the 7-day forecast. One more day on this sunny stretch for tomorrow, and the warmest day of the week. We go back into the 80s for most of our towns except right by the lake. Saturday, we tumble a little bit from a cold front towards 76 for our high temp, and that front will stir up a 60% chance for showers and storms. That'll be replaced by Canadian high pressure from Sunday through Wednesday. Cools us down, but clears us up, a splitting of the difference.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Friday, Junior. Have a great night.